welcome back to another video. This is part 3 of the economic geography video. In the 2 previous videos I did the primary sector, and now we are in the secondary sector. So with regards to secondary sector, there are key concepts which you should familiarize yourselves with. It's very, very important that you know these key concepts, as they will be very helpful when you answer true or false questions, one word and match. So without wasting any more of your time, guys, let's get right into it. Remember, guys, the secondary industry is the industry where raw material, everything that was got from nature, is being processed and turned into a finished product that is ready for consumers to go and purchase in store. So you can look here, industries that drives provincial economies in 9 provinces according to the Stats SA. And the type of industries: heavy, bridge, we have raw material oriented, light, like these are all the industries that we are going to be talking about with regards to secondary sector. Now let's get into them. So the difference between heavy and light industries: we have heavy and light industries there. So heavy industries produce bulk goods, and they located on the outskirts, like they're located in the industrial areas, right? Heavy industries produce a lot of air and noise pollution. So we have industrial areas, where people cannot stay. Only those businesses who are they're producing smoke, a lot of smoke, and there's just a lot of noise during the production processes of their goods, and people cannot really stay there because there will be so much air pollution. So those are heavy industries. They're in the outskirts of towns. They're called industrial zones. So for light industries includes industries that produce small products, or light industries are located close to CBDs. Light industries produce vary. So light industries produce less or no pollution. So it's where you're able to make things, but there's actually no pollution there. You're manufacturing small things that close to the central business district, mostly in towns. So there's nothing really that will prevent those type of producing industry to be far from people, because they do not pollute the air and there's no noise that is disturbing people from living their lives. Examples are light industries where bulbs are made, and clothing manufacturers as well. They do not there's no noise and they do not pollute, so they can be close to where people stay. And then we have difference between raw material and market oriented industries. So raw material oriented industries is located close to the source of raw material. So in farms most of the time, or it is in a mine. So it sells also raw material. So it is located close to the source of raw material because it is expensive to transport the raw material. Example of raw material oriented industries are wood milling, fruit canning, and sugar mills. So when you are selling those types, you don't have to be so far from where the raw materials are sold. And then there is a market oriented industry. So it is located close to the market, as it is expensive to transport the product to the market. So the products may also be perishable. Examples of market oriented industries are dairy product processing and home industries. So you can see that we have a lot of dairy products. They're not far, they're still within reach, close to towns, because they shouldn't be transported on a long journey because they are perishable. So if, let's say, clover, for instance, it has factories in all provinces because so that it must not transport from Free State to Eastern Cape to where, because of the things can perish. So that's where market oriented industries are. And then footloose industry and the ubiquitous industry. So we have the footloose industry and the ubiquitous industry. So highly skilled people work in this industry. Example of footloose industry are software, design and research industries, and the ubiquitous industries can be found anywhere. A good example of a cell phone company. And then break of bulk industry. A bridge is a heavy industry. An example is a sugar mill. It is located between the source of raw material and the market. So sugar mills are not very far from markets. And there's factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. So these are the factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. We have labor supply, political intervention, water supply, labor supply, competition and trade, energy supply, political intervention, raw material, transport, and competition. So as for those are factors favoring industrial development in South Africa. So we have raw material, availability of large variety of raw materials. There is a good fish industry in the west coast of South Africa. So this is how raw material is favoring to industrial development in South Africa. There are a variety of raw materials that can be used for food processing. So those are all the points. And then labor. How does labor favors the economy of South Africa? Availability of large skilled and unskilled labor force. Water supply, industrial development is able to be there because there's of raw material, labor supply. When there's raw material, labor supply, water, there's industrial development. So energy supply, transport, political intervention, competition and trade, we are able to have industrial development. So industries are able to develop because of that. And these are the factors that are stopping industrial development from taking place in South Africa. So factors which are hindering or stopping industrial development is political interference, water supply, labor supply, competition and trade, energy supply, political intervention, raw material, air pollution, and over concentration. So they are hindering, stopping industries from developing. So you can check, this is the negative side. Over concentration, transport, air pollution, labor supply, those are what is stopping the industry from developing. So you can write them down and study them. So this is an activity 7.1. Refer to the figure below and match the type of industry in the diagram with the statements below. So this is the activity. And now we are moving to industrial regions in South Africa. There are 4 major industrial areas or regions in South Africa. We have the PWV Gauteng. Durban Pinetown is an industrial area. Southwestern Cape and Port Elizabeth Utengecha or Nelson Mandela Bay. This is a map showing the location of the 4 industrial regions in the country. So you should know this industrial zones in the country is very important. We should know them. So the first industrial area that we'll be looking at is the Pretoria Witwatersrand, Vereeniging. Pretoria Witwatersrand and Vereeniging. Oh, so the acronym is PWV. WC or Gauteng. The reason for the development of this industrial region was the discovery of gold that led to people migrating to the area. So this was called the gold rush. As a result, the population grew and it led to the rapid development and industrialization of this area. The industrial region is situated in Gauteng province. So this is where the industrial area is. And the map above show how the PVW Gauteng region has developed into a conglomerate as a result of industrial development. This is a vast area for industrial development with a number of linked towns and cities which function as a single economic hub. Now, factors influencing the location of PWV Gauteng industrial region. There is a large labor force, there's availability of water, there's transport network, electricity. So these are the factors that influencing the location of the industrial area. For it to be an industrial zone, there's electricity, there's flat land and space, there's availability of raw material. So those are the factors. So factors influencing the location of, again in detail, stated here, influencing the location: a good transport road, raw material available, as I have said, and then we have factors that hinder the PWV Gauteng industrial region: over concentration of industries in the core industrial region, strains on resources when there are a lot of over concentration of industries, strain on resources when you lose a lot of resources, load shedding and increasing cost of electricity can hinder productivity, and then strain on transport infrastructure and all that. And then the main industrial activity in the PWV industrial region: the main iron and steel products, engineering products, chemical products, motor car assembly plant, and cosmetics Apex clothing manufacturers. So those are the main industrial activities. The economic and social impact of this: how does it impact the economy and society? Industries contribute money to the GDP of the country. The industries and foreign exchange, when exported, the money earned through exports increased earnings of the regions. This is a graph of PVW, Boksburg, Benoni, Brakpan area orthographic map, and then here is an activity on the PWV Gauteng. You read this, pause the video, read, and then answer these questions. Southwestern Cape Industrial Region. So industrial region is situated in the Western Cape. Cape Town Harbour is the third most important harbour in South Africa. This region dominantly receives waterfall, and therefore water shortage are a main concern. So there are industrial regions. Eastern Cape is also an industrial region. So factor influencing the location of the Southwestern Cape industrial region is Cape Town. There is a harbour, so international ships are able to load and offload there, and there's availability of raw material like wine. There is efficient transport network and seasonal rainfall. There's a seasonal rainfall which leads to water shortages. Factors influencing the location was access to shipping port. Because there's a port, that's why it had to be an industrial region. So plenty skilled force, has many tertiary education institution, so there are a lot of universities there. And then again, factors that hinder the Southwestern Cape industrial region: expensive electricity, far from coal mines, is very far, high transport cost for large market in the PWV, which a distance away, water shortage, salaries are lower than in PWV, which leads to lower spending powers. So no mineral raw material in the area. So you get paid more in Joburg than in Cape Town. Main industrial activities in the southwestern Cape region. So we have oil refinery, clothing and shoes, food processing, then printing and packaging, and wine making. So those are main industry activities in the southwestern Cape. Economic and social impact, or the impact it has on economy and societies, that industry contribute money to the GDP, the money and through exports increase. Can you see economic and social impacts are the same? These industrial regions have the same economic and social impact. Let's talk about the Durban Pinetown, eThekwini. Map showing their location. Durban Pinetown is an industrial region. Factors influencing the location. Durban Harbour. There is a harbour there. There's a port. Is the largest and busiest in South Africa. There is a large labor force, abundant supply of water, well-developed transport network, and access to local and overseas market. So the main industrial activity in the Durban Pinetown eThekwini industrial region is petrol refineries, shoes industry, sugar refineries like Hewlett's Sugar, motor manufacturing, paint manufacturing, shipbuilding, paper and printing factories. So manufacturing sector in Durban Pinetown eThekwini industrial region. There we have statistics, what contribute what, right? So the factors that favor the Durban Pinetown is harbor facilities, abundance of labor, developed transport network, available electrical energy. And factors that hinder the Durban Pinetown: limited households level of production, high levels of unemployment to support industrial development, and low households income. And then we have economic and social impact: development of industrial areas for vegetable market, especially fruit market, development of a hub for automotive parts and car assembly. So those are its impact, different from the ones we saw before. Map showing the Pinetown industrial area in KwaZulu-Natal. And then we have an activity 7.2.4 about the Durban Pinetown eThekwini. Pause the video, read this, and answer the questions. I'll show all the answers to these questions at the end of this video. So we have Port Elizabeth, Tinech, yeah, Nelson Mandela Metropole, Tinech. Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. It is the smallest core industrial region in South Africa, initially developed, greatly influencing port facilities situated in the Eastern Cape. Main industrial activities of PE Utinega is motor vehicle car assembly, metal production, wire tubes and plates, and textile clothing and footwear. Those are the main activities at Etinega. Main industrial activities of Port Elizabeth is motor vehicle and metal production, textile and clothing and footwear, and fruit canning. So factors influencing the location: obviously the harbor, skilled and unskilled labor supply in the Western Cape population, good supply of raw material for such as cotton, fruits used for production of textile, soft drinks, and a variety of food products. So good transport network. And these are the factors hindering industrial development in PE Etinega. The economic and social impacts of Port Elizabeth Etinega industrial region is industries contributing money to the GDP, the industries and foreign exchange. I think this one is the same as the one for Joburg and Cape Town. This is an orthographic map for PE. And this is the activity. Pause the video, read the activity, and answer the questions that follow. And these are strategies for industrial development. Let's end this video here, and I will continue with strategies for industrial development on the next one, because it's quite a lot. Thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, bye.